value her so much. Like, I think she's what's right with this sport. I'm very excited that she's doing so many good things, so thank you. And she's also a week out from the Arnold.
Right?
Yes, I will be there pre-judging, so thank you so much for coming.
No, anytime. Honestly, what a great event, Paul, and thank you for having me.
Of course.
Honestly, thank you everyone who's there. I feel like I'm in like the university, like great PhD stuff. I'm not ready for this. Right now I'm like, I could talk to you about the tanning and like you need to shave before, but I feel like you've like covered that like years ago. So I feel like I'm not really adding value over here. One of you girls, depending on him or like anything that he tells you. You're all here, you know, getting some knowledge for yourself, and that's what's gonna carry confidence. So there's a lot of people that, you know, for a while people were asking me like how can you be so confident, you know, when you walk inside a gym or like when you go places. It's just because I know what I know. I've experienced a lot of things, but I've also studied the sport. So now when I answer interviews and the interviewer is asking me, hey, what would you tell a first-time competitor? I'm just like, go learn.
Listen to your coach, because the coach knows all the judges. And that's my job.
I mean, a good coach would obviously know these.
Now the national judges go to all the same shows. It used to be Steve at Universe and Tamer at USA's. Now it's Sandy and Tyler at all the shows.
See, so like it's getting better, you know.
All right, so Miss Danika is a longtime friend, years and years ago. Did I judge you at a show?
You did.
I did.
You hard.
She was an OCB Bikini Pro in Plattsburgh, New York. I judged her, and then she went on to win the World Championships of the Yorton Cup.
Paul really trusted me in my idea to bring kind of mindset coaching into pro physique, and I literally was on the cardio machine doing my cardio for a prep, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna roll with it and ask him, what are your thoughts about bringing mindset coaching into pro physique? The word balance, I think people throw that off all the time. They're always like, well, I'm trying to achieve balance. Girl, you're not gonna have balance in most seasons of your life, but you should have a sense of harmony, and there should be good alignment in your life, right? So I'd rather use harmony with any goal that you possess. It allows you to see what you invest your self-worth in. So being able to reflect and say, my self-worth, I invest this in my self-worth. This is why I'm worthy. Say a little bit about yourself, okay? Because we do, right? Most of you possess all of these things, but sometimes they're kind of off a little bit, right? And I felt really conflicted because I spent so much time putting my identity into this. This was Danika. Everyone was like, oh, Danika Johnson, the bikini competitor. No one else, and to be honest, that's what I identified as. I didn't say anything else. I said, oh, hi, my name's Danika, I compete. And that was it. There was a lot to me. I was also like getting my master's degree. I was also engaged. I was planning my wedding. Like, it's just the scale. Every time I step on the scale, I have a thought, especially if I'm in a cut phase and I have to do check-ins, but I have a thought and I step on, I have an emotional reaction to whatever that scale tells me. I send it to my coach, but I do that all the time. That thought becomes a habit. It's a pattern that we build, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. For me, I've had weeks, like 20-week preps. For 20 weeks, thinking the same thought, having the same emotional reaction, that shit's gonna like stick in my mind. It's gonna stay there, right? So being able to have that understanding is really important. It starts to create belief systems, your self-worth, your values, your narratives, how you speak to yourself, and then it's attached to emotional memories too, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? So our subconscious mind, there's been many studies on this, it has 95 to 97% processing power. It's a lot. So it really does mean that we operate out of habit. That's pretty fucking scary. Understand the purpose of getting cut, getting lean. It serves in a certain way in each chapter that you're in. I love it. You guys can read that unless you want to continue to hear my voice. And it starts with awareness and just making those small changes. So how do we put it into a prep? How do you for being supportive? Thank you for being by my side. Thank you, friends. Thank you, family. Honey, I know my libido is low. I'm so sorry. Thank you for still like holding my hand and being there for me. To limit your worth, your body's worth to physical appearance or physical strength. Like I said, your worth is not just this. Like your body can do so many other things. My body built 2 human beings, negative and positive. It's an amazing source of energy. So making sure that you're tending to this is really probably most important because it helps you to tend to this. Okay. So how are you going to use this power to become the best version of you?
We go, hey, I want you to talk on like the 5 elements to a successful contest prep. And I'm like, what about, I'm like biomechanics and glutes. You know, I know this stuff, but not like, I don't know the research as well. But being a PhD, I know who does know the research. So really, this is by Alan Aragon. I called Alan. Those of you, if anyone out there knows, you should be following Alan Aragon. And I've gotten really close. I feel like I'm part of the family. And so, thank you, Paul, for always inviting me. I don't like, it's hard work. Like I have my squad, okay, and I train them. And then they come to me and they're like, I think I want to do a show, and I try and talk them out of it, and then, and then they're like, no, I really want to do it. Okay, let's do it. My twin brother was a photographer back then. She did a photo shoot with my twin brother. Her glutes looked amazing, and then she freaked out like 2 days prior to the competition and decided she needs to lose 8 pounds. And her stage pics look exactly the same as her previous competition. She lost 8 pounds in 2 days. And did all this cardio and lost all the hard work we've been doing for 6 months. Check this out, this is kind of interesting. The group that took their time, the slow rate weight loss, they actually gained 1 kilogram of body mass. So they gained like 2.2 pounds of muscle. Whereas the other group, the fast group, lost it. And then if you look at fat mass, you know, they lost 4.9% of fat mass, and the other only lost 3.2. So this clearly shows an advantage to taking your time. And top natural bodybuilders, kind of cool. Men were taking around 1.5 grams per pound of body weight per day, the top elite males, and the top elite females were taking in 1.3 grams. But I usually just say 1 gram per pound of body weight per day that I'm referencing here. So here are all the studies, and a lot of them are reviews and meta-analyses, but it kind of varies. So like, and I convert it, because I don't like, in the research is always kilogram, or you know, like grams per kilogram of body weight. And in America, we don't use the metric system. So it's better for you guys to hear grams per pound of body weight. But here are different things. Like this one review paper said 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight has been reported to be the sweet spot, okay, for muscle gain. Another suggested 2.3 to 3.1 grams per kilogram of fat-free mass. So sometimes you base it on fat-free mass, sometimes you just base it on total mass. I want to burn more fat. I want to do more volume. I want to lift faster. I want to do more reps. I want my training session to be very dense, very condensed. I don't want a restaurant. I want my heart rate to be sky high. And in your mind, that's going to cause you to burn more fat. Well, first of all, if you turn your resistance training into cardio, this is a cool systematic review and meta-analysis here. And here's the deal. This is with, God, I meant to read this to you guys, but basically they looked at diet, resistance training, aerobic training, and then combinations of all 3 of them. And the group that lost the most fat and had the best body composition changes was the group that did resistance training and diet. They did that twice, so it's 4 days a week. Upper body twice a week, lower body twice a week. The lower body was leg press, leg extension, leg curls, and calf raises. And one group did 5 sets, the other group did 3 sets, and they were in a deficit. So you would think, you know, intuitively you would think, God, the group that did more volume, the 5-set group would probably retain more muscle.
Was it the same amount of reps?
Same reps, 10 reps with 1 to 3 reps in reserve. And anyway, the more volume didn't help. When you're in a deficit, more volume isn't better. and I start training them for a competition, they actually gain strength while they're cutting down. They're losing weight, gaining strength because they don't push it year round. But when you do push it year round, you will lose some strength. You will lose absolute strength, but you gain relative strength. But this study showed that the higher reps, as long as you're pushing your sets hard, the higher reps group did not see better results. They saw the same exact results. The reason oats and rice and not put anything on it, no butter, no nothing, and I'm gonna do HIIT training and I'm gonna do this and that's cool. And then 4 weeks in, you're burnt out and you can't stick to it, and you binge or you just quit prep altogether. Cool. How'd that pan out? You can use flexible dieting and you don't see worse results within reason. The thing about flexible dieting is people take that to mean just whey protein and Pop-Tarts, and that's not what flexible dieting was all about. Food should come from whole, minimally processed sources. If you do that, 15% of your food can be sugar, can be, it can be whatever you want. But add those things in. Don't be too hardcore. Include some foods you like, include the training you like. For me, guys, I don't like doing high rep squats and deads, never again. So the study talked about how people always cut out bread. It's like the main thing, like cut out bread. So they looked at 2 different groups and they gave them the same amount of carbohydrates. So there was a bread group, and then there was a group that didn't have bread, but they replaced those carbohydrates with things like rice and pasta. So they were eating the same amount of carbs. But the group that ate bread, first of all, there were just, the main takeaway, all right, 64% of the bread group adhered to the plan and only 56% of the no bread group, but there were 17 dropouts, but the no bread group, all right, I could tell you, you guys, this is why I don't, my squad's a bunch of badasses, we have fun, they're strong as hell, but some of them it just fucks with their head, If I was to go, hey ladies, look at this. This is what you're gonna look like. If I were to tell Jackie 1 year before this is what you're gonna look like. Brianna, Gabby, you're gonna look like this in 6 months. They'd go, what? I'm gonna look like that? Oh my God, I'm gonna be so happy. At that time, you're in a different field. It's like me, the secret to me having high self-esteem? I compare myself to my high school friend.